My grandma always used to say, wanting ain't getting. But for those with the ego authority, this actually isn't true. If you have an ego authority, it means that you do not have any definition in your emotional solar plexus, your sacral center, or your splenic center. And therefore, you are defined in your ego, heart, or will center. It has all of those three names. You are either a projector or a manifestor. These are the only two types that can have this type of authority. Your authority is your decision-making superpower. With the ego center, our ego center is really based on our desires, our wants, the resources around us. And that's why if you have this authority, you are meant to make decisions based on your wants and your desires. So you get to ask yourself the question, do I want this? Do I desire this? Does this serve me? Sometimes the conditioning around this authority is really difficult because we were taught that we can't always get what we want, or wanting things and wanting money, wanting fame, wanting resources is selfish. And we need to overly give and never receive. With this authority, you have the divine task to make decisions in a way that serve you so that you can help serve others. One of my mentors actually calls this enlightened selfishness. So yes, we are making decisions in a way that is going to be of service to us, but these decisions that serve us actually are helping us serve others. We're not doing them from a place of greed, of a place of, I'm taking this so that you can't have this, or my having more money means that you don't have more money. It's coming from a place of empowerment. It's coming from a place of divine desire where your desires are placed on your heart for a reason. And when you are following your desires, when you are knowing with absolute certainty that when you are actually letting yourself make decisions from this place of, do I want this? That you are actually leading yourself down a path of purpose that is intentionally serving others. So connecting with this part of yourself, it may feel awkward at first. It may take some time to get used to, and you may have to do a lot of fear clearing and journaling around the decisions you're making so that you can feel like it's coming from a true place of service towards yourself, because you know this service for yourself will be of service to others. This is one of the authorities where, because this is your ego, heart, or will center, you are going to feel this coming from your heart. And this center is very much tied with money, as I've already said. So this is the only authority in all of human design where making a decision based on money is actually in alignment. And so this is something that you want to consider. This is something that if you want money, if that's something that you desire and you are presented with a decision and you ask yourself, do I want this? Then yes. Like I said, people with this authority really might feel like they are selfish or materialistic for wanting to make decisions based on materialistic things and their desires and their wants. But this is actually how you are going to be magnetizing opportunities to you, how you know that you're going to be put on the path that is meant for your highest self. And we really need to tap into that internal compass of what is serving me, and really try to make this that enlightened selfishness, that internal compass where we are thinking about our desires and how we're going to serve ourselves rather than making decisions based on what others may think about us. Because what matters is where our heart is leading us, not what other people think about where our heart is leading us, or not what other people may judge us for, because that is making a decision that is going to be completely out of alignment for you and is not going to help you eventually be of service to others by being of service to yourself first. There are two types of an ego authority. Remember, I said earlier, you can only be an ego authority if you are a projector or a manifestor. And so these play out a little bit differently based on if you are a projector or a manifestor. So let's start with the projector first. If you are a projector with an ego authority, we call this an ego projected authority. When you are trying to make this decision and you're presented with a big decision to make, you're going to probably feel it in your heart center and ask yourself the question, do I want this? Do I desire this? Is this in service of my greater good? You might come to clarity right away. You might feel this right in your heart center right away through an expansion. You might feel it in your physical body. You might have this internal knowing right away. But this is not like our sacral or our splenic authority where it's an instant hit. It might take a little bit more time to gain more clarity. So with the ego projected authority, if you have this instant knowing, like, does this serve me? Yeah, it does. I feel it right here. I feel expansive. Yes. Great. If you don't have that clarity right away, it doesn't mean a no for now like it does for the others. For you, it's let me think about this more. Let me feel into this more. Let me feel into my body as I am meditating on this decision, or as I talk to a friend about this decision, or as I just talk out loud or journal on this decision. And as I'm journaling, I might gain more clarity. And then I might start feeling it in my heart center of where this is a yes, or it might start feeling like a no. And a no for you is also going to come in this heart center. It's also going to be maybe this heaviness or contraction in your body. If you're feeling like there is fear clouding your judgment, or there is this conditioning that you're still holding on to that, yes, this is of service to me, but I'm afraid of what people are going to think, then you're not coming from that place of true alignment. And you need to release those first before you come to a place of neutrality within you and truly ask yourself, is this of service to me? Is this going to benefit me? Is this something I want, something I desire? This is where you can get that yes or no is from this place, by closing yourself off from the opinions and judgments of others. Now let's move on to a manifestor with this authority. This is an ego manifested authority if you are a manifestor. And it's slightly different from the projector in the fact that because you are a manifestor and your voice is your power, when you are presented with a decision to make, you still ask yourself, is this serving me? Is this what I want? Is this what I desire? But then you immediately speak out your thoughts. You immediately speak out what you're feeling. And you want to do this in a trusted, safe place. This may be an uncomfortable authority to have because we're worried about the judgments and opinions of others. So if you're speaking to a friend who you're feeling might judge you, that's not a good friend to speak to out loud. because then you're going to filter what your voice truly wants to say. And we want to make sure that you are coming from a place of pure channeling about what you desire so that you can get that clear answer. And because you're going to be speaking from your heart space out through your throat. And this is going to give clarity to the decision that you are meant to make. You can't let your mind control what you say. You have to let your heart tell you what to say. And just speak speak without thinking. Don't let that flow stop, so that when you are actually listening to yourself, and it might even be a good idea to record yourself so that you can listen back to it and get that clarity as you're listening to your voice and have that feeling in your heart center, either of expansion or contraction. So that's where it's similar to the ego projected authority, because you're going to feel this expansion or contraction for a yes or no, but you have to use your voice to gain that clarity. And if you're not sure, again, it's not an instantaneous authority like the splenic or the sacral. It's going to need some time for deliberation. But all of this deliberation has to come from your heart and through your throat. Your key to finding that clarity is to truly make sure that you are not letting your own ego, for lack of a better word, tone down what you're trying to say or what you're trying to share with yourself to gain clarity on that decision. Because once you start toning down what you're feeling, or even subconsciously filtering what you're feeling in your heart, you're not going to be making that most aligned decision. All of our decisions are made within our body. Even if it's not an instantaneous decision, you still are not letting your mind make the decision. When you start to overanalyze, when you start to worry about outcomes or impacts, that is when you're letting your mind take over and you cut off your body. Your decision is coming from your heart. Your decision is based on what your heart feels is going to be of service to you. So it is a feeling, a desire. And yes, there's nothing wrong with trying to gain more clarity, asking people questions when you're presented with a decision to get more information because you're not getting that clear answer right away. But that doesn't mean that you start overanalyzing it and worry about the impact or the pros and cons of what this decision means. You still have to make sure that you stay grounded in your body and are going off of the feeling that you're getting in your heart. And if it feels like it is benefiting you, then that is where your decision is coming from. That's where your yes is coming, is this feeling like, yes, this is of service to me. I do want this. Or no, this is not of service to me. I'm not feeling this. This doesn't feel right. This feels heavy. This feels like almost limiting to me. Not for me. So if you have an ego authority, I would love to hear about it below in the comments. How does your yes or no feel for you? And share any other tips and tricks you have with our awesome community. And if you want to learn more about your chart, I highly recommend you either watch my free Back to Basics Masterclass, where we go over the energetics behind your type, strategy, and authority, or download my free Foundations Guide, where we really truly tap into all of the basics of living your design, those basic first steps of living to your design in a practical, applicable way. And if you want it all done for you and tied up with a nice little bow, you can always book a reading with me where I just go deep into everything and anything you could ever want to know about you and who you're meant to be on this earth. I look forward to seeing you next time.